Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Had any trouble at the airport lately? Scott Craigie's in for Andy Engelman. He's got the rundown.
Tourism, bottom line, requires reliable and safe air traffic. And we've got Steve Pansky here from the Transportation Services Authority. We're going to probably ask him why you're wanting all the little old ladies and 4-year-old children. And we're also going to find out whether we are safe and if our tourism economy is looking better as a result of it. Also, Bert Ramos from the Hispanic Leadership Summit is here talking about the election cycle.
Thanks, Scott. And coming up on the pundit panel, Joe Guild, Ernie Adler, Mike Hillerby from the governor's office, and Professor Howard Rosenberg. Watch out, it's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8, lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1, have some fun, lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp, have a sip, try the pool, play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino, lucky you.
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, the top 8 risks of hiring employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Andy Engelman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by Steve Pansky. His boss is Tom Ridge, who's the head of Homeland Security. Tom couldn't be here today, so we asked Steve if he would fill in. And he heads up Transportation Security Administration here in Reno. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. You know, Steve, you and your organization play a key role for this whole community. It's a tourism community. Obviously, safety is of the utmost importance. At the same time, your team is the last group of people that everyone sees as they leave Reno and their Reno experience. It's no secret that the TSA has been criticized by many for some of the screening procedures that they use, and I want to give you an opportunity to talk about that.
Well, thank you. And besides the last person, see, we sometimes are the first person when they get off an aircraft at an arriving airport. So we are out there in the forefront, and we are seen by everybody. But to respond to the accusations or questions that are raised, really a lot of the protocols and the programs that we've developed over the years are in the development of TSA and the screening process were really formed out of intelligence gathering, and that's updated on a daily, if sometimes not hourly basis, and formatted and sent down to the local level for us to react to it and to input into our process based upon the airport-specific location. And to that vein, a lot of that is set up in that specific forum, and we a lot of it we can't speak to. We will not speak to it, and in fact we accept the criticism for the fact that sometimes it isn't consistent, or the fact times you've changed your mind, you're doing something different. But that is the way that we need to operate to be successful in meeting the needs of the nation and the people that are flying through the system.
Okay, Steve, I'm going to represent the public here and use a couple of personal examples of questions I have. My 6-year-old granddaughter comes through with her grandma, who's going to put her on the plane to fly her back home. She's going to fly on her own. Her buckles on her shoes set off the detector, and instead of them saying to her, well, just take off your shoes and walk through again, they wand a 6-year-old granddaughter at the airport. My dad, 87 years old, in a wheelchair, being pushed through, is stopped and given the complete security check over. What gives?
Well, the question really is based around, really what is the profile, and I use the word profile in the sense that what is it we're really looking for in the way of an individual? Who is it that we're really focusing in on? And we're not focusing in on individuals, we're focusing in on what is the cause for that alarm to occur, and how do we ensure that we can feel comfortable and the flying public can feel comfortable when that individual passes our checkpoint and boards that aircraft and flies around the world. And I say that in the true sense that every one of these airports is a port of call. Every airport you can gain access to, and you can travel around the world from that airport. So we have to ensure that in fact we can feel comfortable, that the flying public can feel safe, that we in fact are ensuring that these alarms that are occurring are being cleared. The fact that the individual is in a wheelchair, the fact that the child is 6 years old, yes, it's a consideration, and it's a concern we have, a public relations concern, and it's a concern on our part that we have to do this in a professional manner to ensure that we don't cause any undue stress on that individual. But we have a need to do that, and we have to accomplish that. And I would be remiss, I would be remiss if we were to let something go and have something happen.
Does security trump, I don't know, customer relations? That's probably not the right word. You are police officers, you're a police agency, and necessarily so in an emergency. But how do you interact with the public, and how much of the training and instruction focuses on that issue?
That's a good question. A lot of our training is not just in process and procedures on how we screen passengers. Part of our training that we provide each one of our employees was dealing with customer service and dealing with efficiency and how we process passengers. It serves me no purpose to provide nothing but security at my airport at the sake of not allowing an efficient operation or making my passengers be upset to come through that checkpoint. I have to ensure that they have a good experience with me so that they can feel comfortable that they're flying the system and they are respected when they come through those checkpoints.
And how much of the evaluations that are done by your superiors focus on that issue as well as security?
Quite a bit of that evaluation has done that. And matter of fact, I have a mandate to my managers that work at my checkpoints to ensure that not just that we are in compliance with our security directives, but that we are treating the customer with respect. And that's a mandate that we've placed on all our employees.
I want to ask a goofy question. I know that air cargo is now being screened, but it wasn't up until a couple of weeks ago, but it is being screened now. And at the Reno airport, do you have preferred carriers that are responsible for screening before things get to the airport? But this is going to sound goofy, but we're stopping people with things like nail clippers and little Swiss Army knives and things like that, but everybody's going on with carry-on luggage. I mean, if I want to assault somebody and I take some hand luggage and crank somebody upside the head with it, I'm going to do a lot more damage than I am with a nail clipper. I mean, is there anywhere in the history of recorded air travel that any plane has been brought down by a pair of nail clippers?
Well, I don't think that you can focus in on the nail clippers being a specific issue or a concern, although that seems to be the product that is always raised. The issue here, and you raise a good point about luggage and being a potential weapon. There's a lot of things that are potential weapons, but I think in the history of the TSA, in its short history, we have had upwards of 2.5 million prohibited items that we have had surrendered at our checkpoints and have got on board. And putting terrorism aside, putting that piece of the puzzle aside, I read on a daily basis of passengers that become either irate with other passengers or irate with flight crews. And we've taken potentially those tools away from them that they potentially could use on board that aircraft. And I looked at that as a positive success. So yes, there are things on board I think you could use as a weapon, but for the most part, I think the pieces and the puzzles and the parts of the dangerous pieces are taken away, and we instill a sense, I think, of not just security, but I think it provides a sense of security for the flying passengers, so they know on board if in fact they say to the passenger in front of them that, would you hold the noise down, they're not going to have to turn around and worry about somebody coming up with a weapon and having a confrontation on board an aircraft.
Steve Pansky, we're out of time, but I thank you very much for coming in
I
and
appreciate
answering these
it.
questions. I know a lot of people in the public have the same kind of questions, and we would like you to come back again to see us.
Thank
All
you, I
right?
appreciate it.
Okay, we'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this time out.
Interest rates remain at all-time historic lows. Now's a great time to purchase or refinance in the Northern Nevada area. Hi, I'm Valerie Hedlund, Operations Manager of CTX Mortgage. We pride ourselves in giving face-to-face service, local processing, local underwriting, immediate loan approvals in a private and professional office setting. We at CTX choose to do business differently. This is our local team of processors and operations staff that are dedicated to providing you the highest level of service. Please call any of the loan officers on our CTX team.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at DeAndrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South DeAndrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square used the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
If you love good food and you like good wine and all in a beautiful setting, we've got the perfect evening for you.
The Event Center at Red Hawk, Michael Mondavi Wine Dinner, Chef Ken and his fabulous food, 4 courses paired with Michael Mondavi wines. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, it sounds perfect, Al. It's all coming up on September 18th right here at Red Hawk. Make sure you call early to get your reservation in. It's going to be an evening not to be missed.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Andy Engelman.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by Bert Ramos, who is with the Hispanic Leadership Summit of Nevada, and it's a pleasure to have you here, Bert.
Thank you very much.
Bert, I know part of your activity is focused on the legislature and what the legislature does for the community, and obviously the Hispanic community is a large voter group. First of all, how does the legislature treat you? What did you think of the last legislative session, and how did your interests get dealt with?
Well, I really believe that the legislature is comprised of really good people with the best interests of the community at
Did
heart.
they do a good job?
I think so. I think that I would never want to be in the middle of something like that, but I think they did a wonderful job, both sides. It was just politics. That's the way it is.
All right, I got to jump in here, and that was a very nice comment there, but now let's move on.
Politically correct.
All right.
They all got a good back rub.
The Hispanic population is growing throughout the United States, and especially here in Nevada. What opportunities are the Anglo community missing out on with the Hispanic community in terms of being able to develop relationships and make money? It's good for business to have people come in here.
Inclusion is a big buzzword with the Hispanic community. Unfortunately, it's been both sides that have been lax in interacting with each other. Now this year, we are joining in with everybody. Mainstreaming is something that is neither browning or anglicizing. It's just joining and dropping hyphenations, and that's what we're all trying to do this year. Drop the hyphenation. If they want to join and reach the Hispanic, everybody wants the Hispanic community's dollars. Everybody wants a Hispanic community's votes.
Do you think so? Really?
Oh,
I mean,
yes, I do.
I don't speak Spanish, which is my problem. But I do watch Spanish TV, and I watch the commercials on Spanish TV, and I see to an extent banks and auto dealers are reaching out to the Hispanic community, but I don't see major advertisements, say, for hotel casinos on Hispanic TV. Is the hotel casino missing out on a vast amount of their employees who they're not inviting back as customers?
Well, for one thing, they seem to focus on the Far East for money. The highest disposable income right now is in the Hispanic community because a vast majority of Hispanics in the United States are English only or bilingual, and they have disposable income. This myth about undocumented workers overshadows that 87% of the Hispanic Americans are English speaking.
You know, one of the biggest problems though, that I see for the Hispanic community, and I work with education issues a lot, is that there are a number of families that do not speak English, and their children have difficulty speaking English, are just struggling to learn the English language. And they get segregated literally into schools that are Hispanic neighborhood schools, making it harder to break through. As I visited with some schools, one of the schools, a group of parents wanted to move their children into a school that was much less of a Hispanic speaking population, hoping that they moved 3 families out and then had that group of children bust back to their original school because they wouldn't put an English as second language teacher in that other school. I'm surprised there isn't more militancy and discord about the fact that the schools are not doing as much because they don't have the revenues as they should be.
You have to understand the Hispanic community is a different culture. The African American community has leaders, strong leaders, and a very militant stand on defending their rights, God-given rights, American rights, etc. But the Hispanic community has always been a more respectful community, and they come asking for an even playing field. They don't come demanding an even playing field. That's changing because it's the youngest minority group now in the country. And us old folks, we can't control everything they do, and so I'm trying to guide them into a unified joining with the non-Hispanics instead of the opposite way, which would be, I think, contra whatever we're trying to accomplish.
You know, Bert, does the Hispanic community as a whole understand the power that they would have if they go to the ballot box and vote en masse?
You know, they do understand it, but a lot of the folks originally came from countries that were one party, one candidate vote, and you better show your ballot to the people or you're going to find yourself in trouble. That sort of culture, that heritage, has seeped all the way down to now, and we're just starting to, because of the younger generations, to break that. They understand it and they're organizing, because I'm part of that organization in the West. We are organizing to register to vote. I frankly don't care which way they vote. I want them to vote.
Okay, one last very quick question.
Yes.
Who's working the Hispanic community better at this point, the Democrats or the Republicans in Nevada?
Oh, the Democrats.
Okay, Bert Ramos, thank you so
Absolutely.
much for being here. We'll be right back. Scott's going to handle the pundit panel right after this.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Andy Engelman.
And we're here with the pundit panel. We've got Joe Guild, Mike Hillerby, Howard Rosenberg, and Ernie Adler. Lord help the moderator. I don't know what we're going to do here.
I don't know what he's talking about, do you?
First question I want to ask is, after this legislative session, and everybody here went through and suffered through the session, the special sessions. We talked about this a little before we came on here. Will the people running for re-election, as they always have, because it's always been an advantage, use the words re-elect on their signs for people driving up and down the byways?
I'd say absolutely not.
And why?
I just don't think you want to make yourself a target. I think you want the name recognition to get out there, but you don't want to look like you're
versus newbies. Is that what you're saying?
I would say so. I mean,
Howard, where are you?
I think that what most people did in the legislature was incredibly courageous. I think the governor was incredibly courageous. I think the Supreme Court was incredibly courageous. And I think when people think about it, it's not going to make a damn bit of difference. You do what you think is right. That's why I elect you. And if you do it, then I'll elect you again. I may disagree with you, and we may talk, but I will re-elect you.
Joe, re-elect or don't they do it?
Well, I don't think they'll use re-elect, but in talking to several legislators, Scott, after the session, they've had very few negative comments, the ones I've talked to, about what they did during the session. So I think, politics is like a glacial movement. This time next year, most of what happened in the sessions will have been forgotten, I think.
Yeah.
I think Joe's right. People are going to see the actual impact of what was done. They're going to know that their kids had a teacher when they showed up for school this year, that the schools opened, that services were available, and they're paying an extra nickel a six-pack for beer, and it'll all wash out by the time the next election comes out.
My thought real quickly, if they don't use re-elect and they aren't incumbent, they're going to be open to, are you ducking the issue? Mike, recall. Obviously the governor's a subject of a recall effort. Most of us believe that there isn't going to be a chance in hell that the petitions get signed. But there are some that are saying that you and others are out making yourself more visible during this time. Is there a defensive or a counter reaction on the governor's part here?
I think, while you're right, we don't see any reason to believe that anywhere near that number of signatures are going to be counted. I think most people in Nevada understand, just as Howard said, you elect people to do a job in Nevada. We elect people to make difficult decisions. That's what the legislators, the governor had to do in this last legislative session. We're going to be out on a very positive message talking about what this means to Nevada, what the governor's accomplishments have been, whether it's Millennium Scholarships and Senior RX and healthcare services and education, textbooks for children, other kinds of things. Probably more of an offensive, really, and I think that's for everybody's sake. That's to talk about what we did this last session, what the legislature did, what this means for the state of Nevada.
And probably a smart decision.
Well, if you look at the comparison to California, I think Gray Davis's numbers were in the low 20s when this recall effort occurred. Governor Guinn's numbers are still in the upper 50s, low 60s. So I don't think there's any comparison.
Howard, Ernie, we asked this question yesterday. I want to ask you guys to change just a little bit of the focus. If this outreach program fails, will the conservative group have put a severe dent in the progress that the conservative Republicans made during the legislative session? Do they run the risk of killing their own revolution? Ernie, you start.
No, I think these people are fringe people. They've always been fringe people. I don't think they're real Republicans to be attacking their own governor. And I just don't see them making any headway. And many of these people lost their credibility a long time ago. So I don't think so.
You've got a problem here of style and substance. I may disagree with the way you do something, but the end result really is what you've got to pay attention to. I disagreed violently with Lynn Hetrick. I could not understand where he was coming from until I sat down and I listened to him. I still disagree with him, but I understand where he's coming from. And I think that many times we don't give the voters in Nevada near enough credit for having the brains that they do. They know what's going on. They feel very strongly about something. It's one of the reasons I love living here. People feel strongly. We're still a frontier state. But in the end, it's what's best for the kids. It's what's best for the people of the state.
The Senate Republican caucus is split. Looks like 7-6. 4 of those that were the leadership this time, 4 of those that are hard rock conservatives, more from the South, without going through names. Does that split the Republican message? Does it make this more difficult for those that are working with Republicans to decide how they're going to go forward with this election cycle? Does it undermine their potential in the cycle?
I think you've got a long ways to go yet for a lot of wounds that will heal, a lot of conversations that are yet to have happened before the next election cycle, first. And second, I think those legislators that have come out already and talked about the recall and other sorts of things and have distanced themselves from, again, that fringe element. That'll be important for them and their own success, I think, in the long run, and that'll do a lot to take care of things for the core of the Republican Party, because those people, as Ernie said, don't represent the core of the Republican Party or most Nevadans.
How do your
Remember, in
clients
the
react to that?
end, well, in the end, real quick, the most important thing is who's in leadership, which party's in leadership. The Republicans in the Senate caucus will come together to make sure that they're returned in leadership positions, I think.
Howard, last word real quick.
My clients are responding to it beautifully.
Your clients are.
The students are in their classes where they belong, they're learning, and they're going to be a major asset to the state in the long run.
That'll be the last word, and Howard
That's
loves
what
having
I
the last
like.
word. Thanks very much. See you tomorrow.
Big Apple Pizza, best pizza in Nevada, take one.
Today we're making homemade meatballs for a meatball parm. You like cheesesteak? I think you're like in South Philly right now. It's the best cheese ever made. Now that's how a Philly cheesesteak's supposed to look.
And here's little Cole.
This is authentic. We'll throw some pepperoni in here. Not gonna be shy about it. I bet you guys didn't know I could do that. Don't skimp on the toppings. Authentic as it gets. Big Apple Pizza and Subs on the corner of Bering and McCarran. A New Jersey guy who knows how to make an East Coast pizza.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Scott, I want to thank you very much for holding down the fort while Andy's been on vacation.
Thank you.
She'll be back on. Thank you. She'll be back on Monday, and next week we'll also have the governor on the program for the whole show. We'll see you next week on Nevada Newsmakers.